If you're over 50, listen closely because there are 3 exercises you should never do again, and 3 exercises you absolutely must do if you want to stay strong, pain-free, mobile, and independent for the next 20, 30, or even 40 years. And no, this isn't fear-based nonsense. This is straight from real biomechanics, real joint mechanics, and what specialists actually tell their patients every single day. I want you to stay active, I want you to stay capable, and most importantly, I want you to avoid the exercises that quietly damage your joints without you even realizing it. So if you're someone who wants to move better, feel younger, and stay functional without putting your body at risk, stay with me because I'm breaking down exactly what to stop, what to start, and how to do it properly. And trust me, you'll thank yourself later. Now before we get into the exercises you must never do, I want to say something important. Hitting 50 or 60 or even 70 does not mean your best years are behind you. I've coached people in their 50s who became fitter than they ever were in their 20s. I've seen 65-year-olds with stronger legs than people in their 30s. And I've met 70-year-olds who can outplank half the younger gym members. Aging doesn't make you weak. Weakness comes from the wrong habits, the wrong exercises, or the lack of movement altogether. When you move intelligently and train smart, your body responds at any age. So today, think of this video as a reset, or a correction, or even a survival guide for your joints moving forward. Alright, let's get into the first exercise you should never do once you're over 50. And this one might surprise you, because it's probably the most popular move in gyms around the world, sit-ups. Everyone grew up believing sit-ups or crunches make your core strong, your belly flat, and your back stable. But once you're past 50, sit-ups can become your spine's worst enemy. Because repeated rounding of the spine puts massive pressure on the discs in your lower back. If you've ever felt that pinching, burning, almost electric feeling in your back after doing sit-ups, that's your body telling you, stop. Your discs become thinner as you age, not because you're old, but because hydration drops naturally. When you take a dehydrated disc and repeatedly squeeze it with flexion, it's a recipe for herniation. That's why so many people over 50 experience back pain not during the workout, but 2 or 3 days later. Sit-ups don't train your core the way your core is supposed to work anyway. Your core's real job is stability, not bending forward. So not only is the exercise risky, it's not even the best way to strengthen your midsection. There are much better and much safer alternatives. And yes, I'll give you the better version later in the video. Alright, the second exercise you should avoid at all costs if you're over 50 is deep lunges. Now before you panic, I'm not saying lunges are bad for everyone, and I'm definitely not saying you should never challenge your legs. But the truth is, deep lunges put a huge amount of shear force on the front knee, especially if your balance, ankle mobility, or glute strength isn't perfect. And let's be honest, most people past 50 don't have perfect balance, ankle mobility, or glute strength. When your front knee collapses inward even a few degrees, or your heel lifts slightly, or your stride is too long, all the pressure dumps straight into the inside of your knee joint. That's where arthritis first shows up. That's where cartilage thins. That's where pain develops slowly over months or years. And deep lunges exaggerate that stress. Even trainers in physical therapy clinics now use modified versions instead of traditional lunges because they see too many people coming in with knee pain caused by this movement. The good news is there's a safer, smarter leg exercise that gives you the same benefits without the knee strain. That's coming up in the must-do list. Now the third exercise you should never do once you're in your 50s and beyond is behind the neck shoulder presses or pull-downs. This one is a quiet killer of the shoulder joint. Most people don't know this, but when you bring your elbows behind your body and externally rotate the shoulder beyond your natural range, you're forcing the humeral head, the ball of your shoulder, to grind into your rotator cuff tendons. For younger people with flexible shoulders, even they're at risk, but when you're 50 or older, the tendons naturally become a little more vulnerable. A tiny bit of impingement repeated over months can turn into a rotator cuff tear. And a tear after 50? That's a whole different recovery story. You lose strength quickly, it becomes painful to lift your arm, and you struggle with simple daily tasks like reaching a shelf, putting on a shirt, or carrying groceries. The crazy thing is these behind-the-neck exercises don't even add any extra benefits compared to the front version alternatives. So it's just unnecessary risk with zero reward. If your gym still teaches behind-the-neck anything, skip it. Your shoulders will thank you. So now that we've cleared the danger zone, let's shift into what you must do. Because eliminating bad exercises isn't enough. You need movements that protect your joints, build real-world strength, improve your balance, and keep your body capable for decades. And the first exercise you absolutely must do over 50 is the glute bridge, or even better, the hip thrust. Look, your glutes are your powerhouse. They support your spine, stabilize your pelvis, protect your knees, and give you strength to walk, climb stairs, stand up, sit down, and even balance on one leg. But most people over 50 have extremely weak glutes. Not because they're lazy, but because modern life forces us to sit all day. When your glutes don't activate, your lower back takes over, your knees take over, and that leads to pain. The glute bridge is one of the safest, most effective, and joint-friendly exercises you can do. It doesn't strain the back if you do it right. It doesn't overload the knees. And it wakes up muscles that protect your entire lower body. Specialists love this movement for a reason. If every person over 50 replaced sit-ups with glute bridges, back pain rates would drop dramatically. And the best part? You don't need equipment. Just lie down, lift your hips, squeeze, and breathe. If you want to add strength, you can add a band or weight. But even body weight is powerful. Now the second must-do exercise is the step-up. This is the king of functional strength for anyone over 50. Because it trains exactly what you need for real life: getting up stairs, climbing curbs, maintaining balance, and improving leg-to-leg strength. Unlike lunges, step-ups keep your knee at a safe angle. You're moving up instead of forward. That means far less shear on the knee joint. It strengthens your glutes, quads, hamstrings, and stabilizers all at once. And if you've ever felt unstable climbing stairs or struggled with your legs feeling uneven, this exercise fixes that fast. Therapists use step-ups to rehabilitate people after injuries, surgeries, or long periods of inactivity. And for people over 50, it's one of the safest leg-strengthening moves you can ever adopt. You can do it with a chair, a low step, a sturdy box, or even a stair in your home. Start low, master control, and then gradually increase height. It's not about speed, it's about strength and balance. And the third must-do exercise is absolutely essential if you want to stay independent long-term: the plank. Just the plank. The exercise that actually trains your core the way the core is meant to function. Remember earlier when I said your core's real job is stability, not bending? This is where the plank shines. Instead of rounding your spine like sit-ups force you to do, the plank teaches your body to keep your spine neutral under load. This protects the discs, improves posture, reduces back pain, and builds real functional strength. And if you think planks are too basic, you're doing them wrong. When you engage your glutes, tighten your legs, breathe deeply, and maintain alignment, the plank becomes one of the most powerful anti-aging exercises. It strengthens your entire trunk, protects your back, stabilizes your hips, and even improves shoulder endurance safely without the impingement of behind-the-neck movements. You don't need to hold it for minutes. Even 20 to 30 seconds done correctly beats sloppy long holds any day. Do this consistently, and your spine will feel supported in everything you do. Now let me bring these two lists together so you understand the bigger picture. The exercises you should avoid: sit-ups, deep lunges, and behind-the-neck presses, aren't bad in a moral sense. They're just mismatched for the natural wear and tear patterns that come with age. Your spine loses some hydration, your balance becomes slightly less automatic, and your shoulder tendons become a little more sensitive. It doesn't mean you're weak or fragile. It means you're human. And smart humans adapt. The exercises you must do, glute bridges, step-ups, and planks, are protective. They strengthen the areas that weaken fastest with age. They reduce the load on your joints. They improve the movements you depend on every single day. They make you more athletic in your 50s, 60s, and 70s, not less. But I don't want you to just know the list. I want you to feel the difference. So let's walk through how they change your life. Imagine waking up with no back pain because your glutes actually support your spine. Imagine climbing stairs without feeling that sharp knee ache. Imagine standing up from the floor effortlessly. Imagine feeling balanced, stable, and grounded. These are not fitness goals, they're life goals. They dictate how you age, how you move, how independent you remain, and how confident you feel in your body. These 3 must-do exercises are simple, but when you do the right simple things consistently, your entire body rewrites its story. And let's address something important, because some people might think, well, I walk every day. That's enough. Walking is great. Walking is healthy. Walking is necessary. But walking does not strengthen your glutes. It does not build your core. It does not develop your leg-to-leg balance. Walking is movement, not training. As you age, you need specific strength training to maintain muscle, protect joints, and keep your body durable. These must-do exercises are the foundation of that. If you do nothing else, at least do these. Let me also talk about a mistake I see people over 50 make all the time, doing exercises they did in their 20s, even though their body has changed. You're wiser now. You're more aware. You're more tuned in to what feels off. So your training should evolve with you. You can still be strong. You can still challenge yourself. You can still push boundaries. But you need to do it with intention instead of ego. You don't need complicated machines or fancy gym memberships. You need smart movement patterns done consistently. That's what keeps your joints healthy. That's what keeps your muscles active. That's what slows aging better than any supplement ever could. Now you might be wondering how often you should do these must-do exercises. Ideally, aim for 3 to 4 times per week. It doesn't have to be long. 10 minutes is enough when done right. A few sets of glute bridges, step-ups, and planks can transform your entire lower body and core. Don't rush. Don't push through pain. Focus on quality. Good movement heals. Poor movement harms. And remember, pain is a message, not a challenge. Respect it. If something feels wrong, if something feels right, build on it. I also want to address fear, because a lot of people over 50 become afraid of moving. They think exercise will hurt them. They think they're too old. They think it's too late. But the truth is the opposite. Not moving is what hurts you. Inactivity is the real danger. Muscles shrink when you don't use them. Bones weaken when you don't challenge them. Balance fades when you don't stimulate it. Movement is medicine, but only when it's the right movement. That's why this video is so important. I want you to feel empowered, not scared. I want you to know exactly what helps and what harms. And I want you to take action, even if it's just one step today. Let me paint a picture for you. You walk into your 60s feeling stronger than you did in your 40s. You play with your grandkids effortlessly. You pick up groceries without worrying about your back. You travel, you explore, and you enjoy life because your body is supporting you, not limiting you. That's what smart exercise does. That's what these must-do movements give you. You don't have to aim for perfection. You don't have to be the fittest person in the room. Just do the right things consistently. Before we wrap up, let me revisit the big takeaway. Over 50, your body is incredibly capable, but it needs smarter training. You don't need punishing workouts or complicated routines. Just avoid the exercises that overstress vulnerable joints, sit-ups for the spine, deep lunges for the knees, and behind-the-neck presses for the shoulders. And prioritize the exercises that build real functional strength, glute bridges for hip power and back support, step-ups for safe leg strength and balance, and planks for core stability that protects everything from your posture to your lower back. Your body doesn't need intensity, it needs strategy. It doesn't need pain, it needs purpose. And your future self will look back and say, I'm so glad I started this when I did. So if you're ready to feel stronger, move better, and age with confidence, start incorporating these must-do exercises today. Make them part of your weekly routine. Commit to them. Your joints, your muscles, your energy, and your independence will reflect the work you put in. And trust me, the results come faster than you think. If you found this helpful, make sure you subscribe for more science-based, age-smart fitness content. And if you want a fully guided routine using these must-do exercises, tell me in the comments and I'll create it for you. Until next time, keep moving, keep strengthening, and keep choosing the exercises that keep your body young.